What's up, everybody? My name is Shadow Phoenix. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some Planet Coaster. It is October and it is time for our October monthly build, and for this month, since it is Halloween, decided to go a little bit of the spooky route and a little bit of Gothic, and I've decided to do a wing coaster. It is called Raven, and the whole idea of it is to be a wing coaster that will, you know, kind of a Gothic wing coaster. That I've already said pretty much everything I can kind of say about that. In the last episode, we worked on the layout, so you watched me design that. Then on Sunday, I did a live stream where we went back over the layout and kind of fixed some things, smoothed some things out. Instead of the pre-done pieces that are in the game, I went back and redid the track, and completely these are all custom, so you can grab that there. Let's see, edit. So yep, as you can see, it's no longer pre-built pieces. I did that because I wanted the smooth transitions into them, so I just had them there because I could see the layout, and then I went back and redid that. There's still some work to be done on the layout. It's not perfect just yet, but it is getting there. I'm liking this idea better. Originally I had the wing over turn, the curved wing over zero, or inline twist, I guess, like a curved inline twist. I'm going to call it a wing over, and that it just wasn't working for me. I just couldn't get it to work right, and I decided to drop that and just kind of raise that up a little bit to give it less of a spaghetti look, because it is starting to get a bit messy with the track. And I wanted to kind of to swoop through a lot of the terrain and stuff, because, you know, it's called Raven, and Raven swoops, so I wanted to swoop through like a foresty kind of area. One person said it looked kind of a little lopsided because all the coaster was one side over here, and that's fine by me. That doesn't have to, you know, if this was in a park where, you know, maybe this was the land that they had, you know, then that would work just fine. So that's the kind of the route that I went. I really like it so far. The only thing I did after the live stream was I went in and I did decide to put this helix in there. I'm still not sure if I like it or not. So you guys tell me what you think about having the helix here at the end. It did just kind of come over here, swoop up, and then back down into the end. But now it swoops down over here, comes around into the helix, and then it hits the brake. And yeah. So that's pretty much my idea for the coaster. What we're going to do today is we're going to work on the station right here, which is going to be a Gothic manor house. So you will enter from down here and then make your way through the house in through the queue line and everything, and then end up being in here where you will kind of come out over here, and that will be how that will work. What I may end up doing is I'm probably going to move this over just a little bit. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to move the station over this way some, and that's going to swoop this out so that it will come around and go further out this way and come down into here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, anyway, without any more ado, let's go ahead and get started building our actual station for this, shall we? Alright, so let's get into the build now. So I want to apologize. This episode is going to be a little long, and I did go through and I cut out some things that I thought just wasn't needed, but there's other things I did kind of leave in because I'm kind of in a hurry, and I just didn't have time to do a whole lot of like editing. But I didn't want this video to be that long, so yeah, it's still a little bit long, so I do apologize about that. But this has turned out to be a much larger build than what I expected, and to be honest, I kind of feel like I may have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew with this, especially with this and doing the Crystal Gardens haunted house in, you know, the same time and trying to get everything done. So there's a reason why this video didn't come out last week, and that's because I didn't get to a point where I thought this was worthy of doing a video on. I didn't want to do 2 episodes just, you know, on this house by itself, just on this station. I wanted to do an episode on the station and then an episode on the church that we're going to have, and then kind of finishing things up in the POV. That was kind of my plan. However, yeah, this took a lot longer than I thought. I packed in the details on this, and a lot of my time was spent trying to figure out how I was going to actually do some of the designs and stuff on this and how to make it work. So that's why there was no videos last week, really, is because I had spent most of my time working on this. Between this and streaming, and then, you know, I got the Crystal Gardens park that I'm working on with the haunted house and that. It's taken a bit. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what we're doing here on the screen. You see me building from the top down. So I did have a reference photo that I was working on this. I searched creepy old mansions, and I found a couple of photos of, it's like concept art for, I don't know if it was a greeting card or what it was actually for, but I found this creepy old house, and I noticed, you know, a lot of old like haunted houses and stuff seem to be based upon this image, or this image is based upon a lot of old mansions. But yeah, it was this really cool photo. I really liked the design of it. It looked creepy to me. It looked old, and it was perfect for what I wanted. It was this old Gothic Victorian style mansion house, basically. And so, you know, I had to figure out how I was gonna to make everything. I ended up having to do a custom roof and a bunch of other stuff for it because nothing was really working. Sorry, started yawning. You know, every time I start recording, I have to yawn. That's just how it is. So the first part we're going to do here is the tower. I'm going to be working from the top down. So I fixed the roofs in the shape that I wanted it to be. And that's why I work from the top down. And people will ask me, hey, why do you do the roofs first? So I can get an idea of what it's going to look like roof-wise and layout-wise and stuff. So I find it sometimes easier to work from the top down than to work from the bottom up. Because if I was working from the bottom up, then it would be a little harder to kind of get the feel of this mansion and stuff and what it's going to look like. So I did the roofs first, and that way I can kind of get the layouts, and then the rest of it is just fill in the blanks, you know. All right, let's make this work. Okay, I need to put a window here, a window here. This side over here needs the circular kind of window, and you know that's kind of how I approach this. I'm probably not going to talk the entire way through this video. I'm mostly just going to talk about some of the things that, you know, needs explaining or kind of going from there. So I wanted to put these things right here on top just to kind of give it a little bit more of an outcropping, and plus it makes it look a little bit more Gothic to me. It makes this roof kind of stand out other than just being, you know, how it is. The toughest part was one of the things you're going to see me come up on here in a minute, and that was trying to get the windows, basically. So that's what I'm trying to work on now. So in my reference photo, I had this, it looked like it had like a half circle thing on top of it. And of course, we don't really have anything in the game that kind of work on that. Here you'll see I find something I really like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that can work. I just got to make this work somehow. So I ended up having to tilt it in order to get it just to fit in there, and that way I could get it into there. And then from there, I just basically used some abstract shapes to kind of fill it in so it doesn't look like a door. I used some other pieces, some of the Baroque pieces, or Barack Obama. I don't know, but I used, you know, different things from there and kind of made it. I made it work. Unfortunately, this was where having to do the custom roof came in. The roof that I was trying to work with, it just wasn't going to do its job, and yeah. So what you're seeing me do right now is trying to figure out how I was going to fill this in to hide the door. I tried a lot of different pieces, as you see, and I ended up just deciding, you know what, let's just use the abstract shapes, because, you know, we'll do that, and then we'll put some stuff over top of it. It worked out well. I really think it did. By the time this is entirely done, and it's still not completely done, that's kind of like my thing, isn't it? Nothing is ever completely done, is it? But I got it done enough by the end of this video that I think you guys can see kind of what I'm working with, and the rest of it is just going to be details around the first part of the house, down the bottom layer, and doing the station in the back where the wing coaster is actually going to come out of, the actual, not the cube, but the station itself. So that will probably be the next video I do. You will see me kind of finishing up the back part of this. But I will probably have the bottom layer. I basically do all the tower and everything else in this video, and that's what you're going to see me working on. So again, it is going to be a little bit long-winded. It is going to be a little bit of rambling, and it is going to be kind of a long video. But I did my best to kind of shorten it down for you guys. And hopefully things aren't... I know some of you out there hate these time-lapse videos because sometimes I move just a bit too fast. And some of it can be a little jerky and a little erratic with my movements and stuff. And that's not really my fault. That's more the game's fault, because sometimes, you know, the camera is really screwy and it's really hard to kind of get where I want. Like what you're seeing me do right now, this is easy. You know, this isn't too bad. It's just when things aren't working the way and the camera's not working the way I want it and I gotta move around, then, you know, when you time-lapse that, it looks very erratic, so it kind of sucks. I guess, you know, while we're working on this and the sides and things, let's talk a little bit about the channel real quick. As I previously mentioned, I am getting ready to start a new job here, and that's going to be starting Sunday. And I know that I have been kind of saying I was going to start doing like Sunday live streams on YouTube. Because I had to change my schedule for my new job a little bit, the Sunday YouTube streams aren't going to be happening anymore. I didn't do any of this last weekend because, well, I spent all day working on this, and then I also was kind of a little sick over the weekend as well. I ended up catching a cold, I think it was, over the weekend. I'm still sniffly. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice or not, but yeah, I'm getting better, so that's why I was able to work a little bit yesterday. So, but still, leftover cold really sucks. And that kind of hurt me as well for getting these videos and stuff out as quick as I usually do. So yeah, since I'm going to be working on Sundays now, I won't be able to do the Sunday live streams. I'm only going to have 3 days off, and I'm going to try to start streaming later at night on my days off, because I am going to be working night shifts. So that means I'm going to be sleeping during the day, working the night shift. What free time I do have before work, I'm going to be working on trying to get videos and stuff out. I'm not going to be able to do daily videos anymore, unfortunately, either. That is another byproduct of having to, you know, actually work. I gave it a shot. I did my best to try to, you know, to do this and kind of make it full time, and it just wasn't really working for me. I wasn't making enough just from this anymore, and yeah, so, you know, rent's got to be paid. I got to eat the bills. You know, I got to handle all that. I did find a job that's really, really good paying. I'm not happy. I'm probably not going to be happy with the job. It is going to be a whole lot of hard work. I don't want to do 10-hour shifts, but the money that I'll be making from it is just really, it's too good to pass up. So I'm going to do my best and try to make it work. But that means no more daily videos, not going to be able to live stream on Sunday on YouTube like I'd planned. So just a lot of things that I wanted to do, I'm going to just have to put on halt until things pick up on the channel enough where I can, you know, try my dream again maybe and try to do this full time. So we'll kind of see what happens, I guess. So now, as you can see, like I said, I packed so much detail into this. This is what took so long to get this done. It was so much work. You guys have no idea the amount of time and effort that I put into this to make it, you know, really cool looking. Now you're getting ready to see where I had to come in and actually redo the entire roof. And this was where I was like, all right, this just isn't going to work. I'm going to have to do a custom roof. There's just no way around it. You can see me trying to put it together here and try to make it work, and it wasn't going to work. So eventually I just bit the bullet, and I was like, all right, let's do a custom roof. So that's going to be the next part that you're going to see me do here, right here on the screen right now. So custom roof. Now you're probably wondering, oh, wait a minute, you're just following the pattern that's already on this roof. Why not just use that roof? Well, as it gets a little closer to the end of this section right here, you'll see exactly why. To make it work with the way that I had the windows and stuff, I had to have a cutout into the roof. and there was no way that I was going to put it together and make it work like that. So I kind of followed the pattern of this roof a little bit. For those of you who are wondering, I did use it's a small bracket, I believe, bracket number 5. That is the best things to use to make these. So you just kind of put it where you want it, go across through here, kind of line everything up, just as I'm doing right now. And I know this is sped up really fast right here, and I was just like, well, you guys are getting a point of what I'm doing. I'm just moving these things up and over, just repeating the process until I get the top. The hardest part of doing these custom roofs to me is getting these, what you're seeing me do right there was the little angles on the side and making it fit. That's kind of a pain. So what I end up doing is I kind of will take some of them and I'll lower them, push them back a little bit, and then some of them I will turn a little bit just to kind of make it still look like it's going to work and kind of go in there. And I was trying to do this as fast as I possibly could, so we'll take all of those extra pieces we don't need off of there and just about finish with this. I wasn't really happy with how some of these came out. Some of them I got the gap between them just a little too big, and you can see it kind of when you're looking at it and like really paying attention to it. So hopefully, since this build is going to be so complex and everything, and it turned out, I think it's going to be, probably one of my best single coasters I've ever done. Maybe next to the Big Bad Wolf, because I'm still quite fond of my Big Bad Wolf build that I did. But this one could be, one of my next great builds here. I'm trying to do everything as close to as realistic as I possibly can. There are going to be some things I'm going to have to cut corners on that I wanted to do that I'm not going to have time to do, and that is going to be custom supports for this coaster. I'm not going to have time to do it, unfortunately. If anybody out there that maybe wants to give their shot at doing custom supports, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys want to try your hand at that. I don't want to change the layout at all, so yeah. There's a few people out there I know who are excellent at doing custom supports. I'm not one of them, and I'm just not going to have the time to spend on this because I've still got to work on Crystal Gardens as well and get that one done. So, going back here, this is why I did the custom roof, as you can see. So just so I could cut out these pieces and make everything work. I am going to cut part of this section of the video out here because guys don't need to see me do like all 4 sides. So I'm going to cut some of that out. So I'm just going to do like 2 sides, and you guys will get the point from that. So let's talk about this week. Like I said, I start my job on Sunday. So that leaves me this week to try to get a bunch of stuff done. You might see daily videos from me this week, and that's because I've got this video. I've got one for Crystal Gardens for the haunted house and that. And then I'm going to do the second part of this that should have been, like this video that you're watching now should have been out last week. I just didn't get finished with it. And then I'm going to keep working, try to get another video out for you closer to the end of the week for this one. And then another Crystal Gardens video, so you're getting 2 episodes for Raven and 2 episodes for Crystal Gardens this week. And then next week, I'm going to try to finish those up, and then we're going to do the POVs for both rides. So we got the haunted house, and then we got, Raven, which is our ring coaster here. And that's kind of how I'm planning things out right now. Then I will probably take a little bit of a break. Once I do next week's Halloween episodes, the POVs basically are going to be both available on Halloween. No matter what I have to do to get them done, I am going to get them done by Halloween. And then so you're going to get a second, or not a second, but you're going to get one more build video next week, probably looking at maybe Tuesday and Wednesday or something like that, or Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday you'll have the POVs for both rides. That's my plan, as long as I can get everything done before I actually start work, because I'm going to be, once I start work, it's going to 10 hours is a lot of time to be on your feet all day. I'm going to be pretty tired when I come in because I'm going to be working till 4:30 in the morning. So probably about 45-minute drive home through traffic and everything. So yeah, I'm not going to have much time except on days off, so I'm going to do my best to try to get everything done this week and have the videos ready to go for you. Going to try to get a couple things up on Patreon for you guys. It may only be like one day early, but for my patrons who are subscribing to me, I have very, very much appreciated. I've got 2 so far. And I'm going to try to get the videos out a little early for you guys to watch, and then launch them on YouTube on the next week and for Halloween for the PLVs. So that's the plan. So I'm just about ready to finish the tower part here, and then we're going to move into the next section. So hopefully you guys can see why this took so long, because, you know, like I said, I put so much little details and so much work into making it look right, you know. It is a little bit overly themed for what an actual theme park would put into this. You know, I think their station would probably be much more simpler looking. This is more of a like Universal Studios kind of thing, I guess, but I really wanted to kind of get it. I don't know. This is the vision that I had for the station, and I want the vision to kind of work. So what you're seeing me do right there is I had placed down the stucco walls, and the stucco walls just didn't have the texture that I wanted behind that. It just didn't, something about it just felt off. So instead I went with the adventure walls, which aren't on any kind of grid, and then I just ended up kind of putting those back there, and it gave it kind of a marbleized look, which I kind of liked. My original idea was this house was going to be made of wood, but the more I'm working on it, it ended up being more of a stucco kind of mansion than anything else. Now this next section, I fooled around with this for a couple of days trying to get this to work before I finally came upon doing it this way. And then so I built it all first, and then I was like, okay, this can work. All right, so let's do the build video based around that. And I took a couple of photos that I could reference for myself, and okay, this is the pieces I used, so let's recreate what I just did and record it that way. And I actually ended up changing something right here. So originally I just used one arch right there, but in my build that I did previously, my pre-render, I guess you could call it, it felt too small, and I was like, is there a way that I could maybe make that wider? So I tried my best to try to put 2 of these arches together, which ended up causing another problem up here in the top, as you can see, that I'm trying to cover up right now with the lines right above the arch. So I had to figure that out. I eventually hit it with one of those I don't know what you'd call them, but you'll see me use it here in just a second. So I put this kind of in there like so. I use those a lot in this build. I guess consistency, you know, kind of works. So using the same designs over and over. Architecture would do that. It wouldn't be different, you know, in a lot of pieces. But anyway, these things right here, I ended up putting these here to kind of hide the line there. I'm not happy with it, but it was the only way I could figure out how to hide the line. I didn't want to use a lot of these, and ended up using a lot of them anyway. So whatever works, right? And then I kind of brought these pieces over here from the top of the tower down to this. And yes, I do see that some of the pieces are sticking out from the side of the roof. I actually have a way I'm going to fix that here in just a moment, as you guys will see. Just adjusting these doors and stuff a little bit here. And once again, we're going to put that up on top of that right there. So, and okay, so then we're going to put these pillars right here to kind of hide the poles for our arches there. Put those up in there. And then I wanted to kind of continue this down. So, like I said, I'm working from this image, this concept art image of a haunted house, and it, yeah, we just don't have the pieces that I could use to make exactly. That's why I had to deviate from the actual image, and I kept wanting to try to make it as close to the image as possible, but in the end, I ended up just like, okay, I'm just gonna have to build this my way and make it work with the pieces that we have in game. But I still kept kind of holding on to, I just couldn't let go of trying to make it look like the image for some reason, which is what took so long. I mean, I could have just been like, okay, yeah, this is a good reference. Let's see what we can do with this, and just kind of loosely base it on it. But for some reason, I kept trying to go back and like, okay, no, that's not going to work. That doesn't look like that. And I just couldn't let go of trying to make it look exactly like the image that I had. And in the end, I mean, it's kind of close, but it's not exact. So here I am. These pieces right here are from the new DLC that just came out, so I was kind of glad I was able to make use of, you know, the $11 that I spent for that out of there. And then there you have the classic Planet Coaster thing, where sometimes pieces you can't grab because of the hitboxes on them. Makes it difficult. So you gotta select the piece or that's in the way, delete it, then select the piece you want, and then undo so it puts the piece you deleted back. Yeah, so alright, so what you're seeing me do now, this is, remember I said I was going to hide the pieces that were coming out of the roof there? This is how I was able to do it, was I just put these things, these beams, the haunted house beams, on top of that, and then I used these things from Vintage to kind of line the roof a little bit there, and I think that really worked out quite well. Just trying to get the angle right on these and work them in there. And again, I do apologize about the erratic movements. That would be the camera in the game, and having to move and adjust things where I needed it to. Alright, and then this is me trying to figure out how I was going to put the back of this. So like I said, I wanted it to be wooden originally, and you'll see me messing around here with the wood, but eventually I'm just kind of like, that's just not working. It just doesn't look right with the wood. I need to change that. So it became more of a stucco in the background. And now that I'm thinking about it, I may go back and change the stucco to the adventure walls like I did the tower. So it's all about consistency, and you know, there's no, why use stucco at the bottom when I use the adventure walls at the top? So I'm going to try to maybe kind of go back and adjust that a little bit if I can. It shouldn't take me too long just to adjust that part now that I know I need to do that. Then this is, I'm trying to mess around with these pieces. I keep looking at the image and I was like, how am I going to do that? That doesn't look right like that. And then finally I was just like, okay, screw the image. Just make it look good. You know, just deviate and make it look good. So I decided to put these new brackets, another new piece out of the new DLC. This is the Bavarian brackets right there that I used to make that. Again, not perfect, but it works. You know, we are our own harshest critics. You know, that's what people say. So I'm sure a lot of you people out there are like, oh my god, this is brilliant. Why does he keep saying it's not perfect? It looks great. You know, and you know, like I said, we're our harshest critics. So to me, I'm just kind of like, it doesn't really work right. So you'll notice I skipped a lot right there. And that is because I was just trying to make a few things and see what I could make to work. Like the window right there on the left, right in the small alcove. And then the bottom piece right underneath the tower there. So that is cut from the video because I didn't record it. What I was doing was trying it out and seeing what I liked. And then when I was finished with it, I was just like, that looks really good. I don't want to rebuild this. So, and then I was like, well, you know what? Our video is going to be really long anyway. Let's just kind of skip through that and just, you know, be like, okay, hey, I did that and that's what it is. So once I'm done here with the time lapse, I'll go in and show you guys what the final product is as of this final state of the station, I guess you could say right now as it sits, and then what we're going to work on next. So this is I thought it would be a good idea to kind of show how I was building the circular part of the roof there and how I was going to make that work. So I did want to fit that into the video, so I did that. And then of course making this work down here. I had some issues trying to get this to work, and I was like, alright, let's try a few things here. And yeah, I'm just kind of messing around with stuff and making things work. That's experimentation, experimentation, experimentation. That's the best way to do it. Just like these brackets here. I was like, how am I going to make these work? I kept trying to put those in too, and I never could get those to work either. And finally I decided, you know, let's just do these posts down here on bottom. That looks good. Yeah, that works. And then I kept having to adjust a lot of stuff too, so that's another thing. And then, of course, colors. Colors is always important as well when you're doing something like this. So we're going to recolor a lot of these pieces and make them look, you know, pretty good. Kind of match things. I noticed it was just too white, and the white made it look too new, and I wanted it to look a little more dilapidated. So that's why I'm doing this. What we may end up doing also is probably going back on the windows and maybe putting boards over top of the windows. As I'm watching the video and I'm thinking about how I can make this look older, I'm thinking, you know, that's not a bad idea. So I'm actually rewatching my work and thinking, you know, of other things I could possibly do here. So I think I'm going to try that. And then, of course, just kind of put some borders up here on the walls and making those look good. And just a lot of adjusting and stuff from here. So I'm just going to be quiet as the video plays here for a little bit, and I will pipe back in when I see something worth talking about. Alright, so the next part of this is going to be the lower roof line. So this is going to kind of divide the first floor from the rest of the house, and just doing the roof alone doesn't really work for me. So I always like to put borders and stuff on them, and I'm going to take these, as you can see here, put them across through there. I tried to do both pieces at the same time, and of course Planco strikes again, and the 3D tool, the 3D gizmo, was just not aligned right, so it was putting it completely off. So I ended up having to do each piece individually in order to move them around there. Wish they would fix that. Probably not going to happen, so it is what it is. But yeah, so as you can see, this is kind of how things are kind of coming out. We're just going to finish this off here in the next little bit. We're going to do the posts around the bottom, and of course we're going to finish up with the actual border along the roof line. We're going to put the posts and stuff on there, and that will pretty much do this video for this right now. And then I'm going to try to finish this up this week, so maybe probably Friday, I think, we're going to try to get the second part of this out, continuing on, which would technically be this week's video. But, you know, like I said, I got some things a little messed up, so I didn't get finished on time. I went back up here and I started messing around with these circular windows a little bit because I noticed they're not the perfect size, so I had to kind of screw with those a little bit and make them work. Trying to get these things to line up because I really want to use these pieces and for the top right there. The problem was trying to get them to line up. They just and I ended up just having to be like, screw it. It's a small detail that nobody's probably going to pay a whole lot of attention to, so I'm just going to move them and make them work. I tried to turn it around backwards and see if I could just put a space in there. That didn't work either, so I was just finally like, okay, it's going to have double vision. Deja vu. Whatever. That's going to have to be how it is. So then we're going to put some little borders down in there and kind of finish that off a little bit and make those work. As you can see, move that over. And we'll have our other windows over there. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, it definitely looks like an old mansion, and then it will look even more dilapidated when I'm done. I really like those borders that I put along the wall using those little pieces. That looks really good. So we'll just raise it up just a little bit more, and then we're going to mess around with the posts down here a little bit. And put those, adjust those. I had to do some adjusting with the roof a little bit down here on the bottom to make everything work. I tried a couple of different banister posts as well. And before I finally, worked with just the haunted house banisters from the fence tools. I was trying to use these. I like these, and they are from the. You'll find those in the Windows section. But yeah, I ended up just going with the fence pieces from there. I tried to find other things that I thought maybe would look older, but I just wasn't. I was thinking there was something else I could use, but I ended up just going with these, and it's fine. I don't think I even did any coloring on these either. I think I just kind of was like, yeah, that'll be fine. So we're going to put the porch and stuff around the side. We're going to do the lower walls down there. And then that just means I just have to finish up the lower walls and the queue line. And yeah, that's going to be it. But for this video, that is going to be it. I don't really have much else to say at this point other than, we're going to go into the game. We're going to take a look at it as it exists a little bit slower and kind of show off what it looks like from there. So I will see you on the flip side as soon as this time lapse is done here. Alrighty guys, here we are in the real-time portion of the video, no longer the time-lapse, and just kind of getting an overlook here of the coaster. As you can see, it's going to swoop through its turns and its inversions, coming over here into the 0G row. That's going to be where the church is going to go right through there, and that will be in an upcoming video as well. We'll finish that off next week. But the main focus of this video has been our station building, which is our old creepy mansion right here. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know I've taken up a lot of your time already, but let's just kind of look a little bit more in detail here in real time instead of, you know, just kind of swooping past everything. Yes, I know there's a lot of pieces that are still missing from it. I am going to go fixing that. Let's take a look at this custom roof, though. As you can see, that came out beautiful. It worked out really, really well. All the way around, I was able to get that done. And then we're going to move down to the balcony section here, which is going to be right underneath of that. That came out beautiful as well. Still got to put some pieces up there to finish it off. Still got to put the balcony itself in there. Thinking about using marble, possibly. Lots of fancy decoration, which these, you know, old creepy mansions probably will have. And moving down into these. Now, one of the things you didn't see me build was this section right here. This was done, and then I didn't record it, and I didn't feel like going back and redoing it to re-record it. So I basically just put a little bit of a roof in there to kind of thicken that out a little bit. I may extend the sides here and bring it out just a little wider to make it look thicker and on the bottom, basically, down here, so to hold the rest of the tower, because I feel that's something that could probably be used right there. So that's probably one thing I'm going to do before the next video. And then, of course, we did this section right here off video as well, which was our little outcropping alcove window here coming down. And as you can see, I did a little bit of a roof in there. This was in the video, this section right here. And then, of course, we have our curved part of the roof over here on the side, which came out pretty good. There is a gap there. I do see the gap. Thanks for reminding me of that. It's not going to matter because you guys won't see, you know, people who are riding the coaster won't see that. So, a little bit of facade right there. And then, of course, the main part of the mansion right over here. This outcropping here. Everything came out really good on that. I was happy with this. I still think I had to do a little bit of coloring on these. I do still have a few things coming, kind of sticking out on the roof there a little bit, but that's not a big, huge deal. And then, of course, if we go into it, this you can see this is where the path is going to go. So they're going to enter in and kind of go around through here, up the ramp into this section here, and then a little bit more of a queue line in there before they actually get into the station. This back section is what we are going to be working on in the next video. So we're going to finish up all of this part back here, make this all look, you know, really Gothic and kind of working out. I think it'll look really good. I'm going to finish up the foundation stuff here soon too, probably before the next video is actually up. So yeah, and then of course the base. None of this is done. All of this will have some windows and stuff down here as well. Looks like I'm going to have to bring that wall down a little bit more too right there. No biggie. We'll get it done. And then doing the actual porch itself that's going to go all the way around the side over here. And this is the exit over here, so I need to put the entrance and I need to put a archway right there for the exit. So, and then of course finishing up that side over there. This will probably be a copy of this over here. I'll probably just take this and just copy that over here on this side, most likely. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I've already taken too much of your time already. This ended up being a much longer video than I expected. It ended up being a much bigger build than what I expected to. I definitely bit off more than I can chew with this and Crystal Gardens as well. I really, really did. And then I ended up going just too much detail and spending too much time on this. And, but hopefully you guys will agree that this does look absolutely stunning. Once we get it a little bit more work into it, it's going to be a little more run down, a little more dilapidated, fitting of a Gothic haunted mansion. And yeah, that's going to be it. Let's see, anything else I need to say? Let's see, next video for this video, next series I should say, will be up on Friday is what I'm aiming for. Tomorrow and Saturday will be 2 episodes of Crystal Gardens, and then Monday and Tuesday another episode of this, another episode of Crystal Gardens, and then we have the 30th and 31st, which will be the PLVs for this. Most likely, I'm going to put both PLVs up on the 31st. On Halloween, both POVs will be up. So I don't know what day that is next week, but I can't remember. I think it's Thursday, but I'm not sure. But anyway, you guys will see that then. So lots more to come. So stick with me as we keep working on this. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed making it. As always, give your thumbs up, give your thumbs down. You know, all the trolls who keep trolling me with your thumbs down, appreciate that. Doesn't matter to me. You're not hurting me one bit. It still makes my video count as participation, so I'm good with that. But of course, I love to see the thumbs ups. So make sure you do that. Share it on social media as well. That's one way you guys can help me get even more of a following, is to share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. You know, get the word out about the channel. That is more than anything that I could ask from my viewers, is to just get the word out about these. I'm gonna head out of here though. I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I very much appreciate it. If you are not already a subscriber here on the channel and you'd like to be, click that button down below to do so, and click the bell to be notified the next time a video goes live, as I have been doing daily content here on the channel. You can also follow me over on Twitter, and I live stream on twitch.tv as well. So if you like the content you see here, you will love the live streaming too. The links for those are in the video description down below. Now, if you are in a position to do so and you would like to support the channel, you can do that through our Patreon page, or you can use one of our affiliate links, such as Greenman Gaming, Humble Bundle, or Amazon. Any purchase you make by clicking on our links, a little percentage of that goes to me to help towards living expenses, as well as making the content better here on the channel. Now, as always, I love to hear from you guys, so make sure you click that like button and leave comments below to let me know your thoughts on the videos. That's going to do it for me today. Remember, guys, wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.